Another day. I wake up another day, hop on the show, and just, it's incredible. Way better than what I was used to be doing. No offense to anyone. Golly, this is great. My name is Jim Rat Crypto. This is Crypto in the Morning, and I'm really happy. There's lots of activity in the comments, lots of biceps in the comments, lots of eager friends in the comments. Guys, to be honest, I'm supposed to be thinking about fitness, but I can't stop thinking about technical detail about crypto. to be quite honest with you, I have been 100% consumed with stablecoin adoption this morning within my mental space. Just learning, I don't care about what actually plays out. More so just learning about what could play out and what might play out, right? Why would I learn from other men what's going to happen in the future when they don't know? And I could know just as well as they can. I bet the conversation Richard had with his buddies are a lot different than the answers that I get on Twitter. Sam, you know what I mean? Like, when I bet, because me and Sam have these conversations about bodybuilding all day long. You know what I mean? So we see some of this verbiage, some of this talk. I remember asking those newbie questions as a bodybuilder. Sam, you remember the answers? They were squat, zero, nothing, no answers. I was looking everywhere until I found one dude with 5K subs like a decade ago. And he answered my questions, honestly, for the first time. And that would be Sam Stoll. I called or do whatever, DM'd him or whatever platform it was. And I said, can I pay for your time? Or like, will you talk to me or something along those lines? And he said, yeah, dude, for sure. We probably talked for hours. And I learned that everything I was asking the internet, they were all not super correct about. So I'm loving what me and Sam have going on here. Sam gets a lot of shit. I swear to God, it's not even a fart to him. It's not even like a little toot. It's just like, he doesn't even care. He says, Scott, are you talking about those people again? Like, what does it matter? Like, you're sitting in your house all day and every day I'm like, you're so right. Let's get at it. Let's get after it again. You know, like he always reminds me, like, it's all about pushing. It doesn't really matter. We're always going to push at the wrong points sometimes, but like, we're going to keep pushing, guys. What a jacked up freaking monologue. I'm jacked up this morning, guys. It's your boy GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. If you have friends and family that aren't super financially free yet, they should be watching this instead of doing whatever else they're doing, because they're getting absolutely bent over and spanked by inflation while they tell all their friends that it's the right thing to occur. Guys, this is Crypto in the Morning. Let's get it!
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up to everybody in the comments? What's up to you, sir? Good chatting with you again. Long time no see. Check out this.
Wow, guys, hold on one second and let's acknowledge the Hex.com hat. Sam is walking around Florida in style now.
Dude, I'm walking into the store just flexing on people.
Dude,
like
people aren't going to buy Hex if they know people like you are around. They're going to be like, that's a scary crowd.
They're
all gorillas.
I would like to shout somebody out though. So I'm sitting on my front porch. I'm responding to Twitter DMs. So if you do DM me on Twitter, link down below, I will be able to get back to you. I'm going to do the same thing today. I'm getting some Florida sun, and the mail truck pulls up, and they don't normally pull up. They just go to the mailbox. And he's like, Sam Stoll? And I was like, yeah, what's up, bud? I walk out there, I grab the package. And he's like, have a good day. So I walk back, sit on the front porch, I open up the package, and I pull this out. And there's a note in there. And it's from Bitfinesse, who's also in the comments. We've had him on the show. Awesome dude. So thank you.
Biceps in the chat for Bitfinesse.
Yes. Bitfinesse also sent to, this is literally 5 minutes before this. There was a
Bitfinesse with a $20 super hat. That looks so clean, Sam. It does look so clean, Sam. I'm so happy.
Also,
Sam,
go ahead.
If somebody stops you on the side of the road and says, "What's that hat, sir?" What do you say?
They're gonna be there for an hour. You got an hour. We should exchange phone numbers because it's gonna be a while for me to explain this to you. Also on the hat. This is probably nobody gives a shit about, but I got a big dome, and my favorite type of hats are ones that are tall this way and have mesh on the back and that are snapback. So worked out perfectly. But I'm excited to talk about the fitness challenge. I actually made a list of some of the changes that I made.
Why don't we go into that a little bit? For the people that don't know what the heck we're talking about, real quick, never mind, not going to pull that. But Sam, for the fitness challenge, what did your week look like for you watching all the people, all their participation, the ebbs and flows, the hundreds and hundreds of Telegram pictures? What do we got? How are you feeling about it? And what do you feel about everything going forward?
In regards to everybody that's in the challenge, I think it's actually inspiring for me because I love it when people are making progress in their life. There's a lot of people helping each other in the community, and one of the things that I originally thought, I think I've said it in the chat a couple times, is that going through and doing the 90-day challenge is going to build relationships, not just better relationships with yourself and the habits that you have in your life, but it's going to build better relationships with the people that you connect with in the community. Wendy's dropped some.
That's true. I didn't think about that yet.
What up, Motley? What's good?
Motley Investor, how are you doing, brother? I hope I know you're traveling right now, or like at the front or tail end of traveling. I hope you're traveling safe, and I hope you're not snacking on that food at the airport.
Yes,
Motley. You know that food at the airport. I always go to like a Jamba Juice and get like one of these giant things. It's like 1,100 calories for no reason because it's like I'm at the airport for like the one time a year. You know what I mean? Like I never go to the fucking airport. Let's think about, guys. Sam, you're making serious gains.
This is 12 pounds. This is 12 pounds. So the picture on the left.
Sam, I'm calling that you need to take the picture.
Well, yeah. So on future pictures, they're all going to be in the one on the.
But the one on the right, you're definitely lighter, right?
Yeah, there's a lot better lighting, but I'm also 12 pounds lighter. I'm down 12 pounds.
12 pounds. He's trying to go for that peak preteen performance weight of 232 pounds.
This is a better comparison. This is going to be the one.
That's a good comparison. That's a good comparison right there. You're definitely toning up around the chest fast. Definitely toning up around the dick root. Oh, we don't cuss on here. Fuck. Sam, I'm trying not to curse because of my mom.
Your mom's watching. Hey, mom, happy Mother's Day. Oh, why don't you do a happy Mother's Day? What? Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, guys. For all you moms out there, for all you people that pooped all us kids out, thank you so much. And for all the mothers in crypto, if you're teaching your kids about crypto and getting involved in this, you're an awesome mother, in my opinion, because this is pretty, advanced, not advanced, but like good on you for like sticking and staying and learning about some of this stuff when you could have easily just ignored it. Right, Sam? They could have easily
Yes.
ignored all of this, like we did when Bitcoin came out. I did. I saw what Bitcoin
Mhm.
was. I had a phone. I'm not stupid. Like I could have looked it up, but I didn't, Sam, until I did. Right? But like some of
Right.
these women they're 1 in a million, and people don't know. They're 1 in a million. They're in these freaking hex chat rooms. How smart are these girls? They're literally 1 in a billion. Like girls don't. There's not that many girls in the industry. Period.
Correct. No, and it's going to continue to expand. But just one
It's gonna
shout
be
out to
crazy.
my mom. There's 7 kids in my family. 7 kids growing up, all homeschooled. Think about that for a second.
Wow.
My mom is fucking a ninja motherfucker. Part you're just like, hey, stop swearing, bro.
Well,
And I'm
only
like,
if you're talking about your mom being awesome, can you use that kind of language?
and she is awesome. Like, think about that: 7 kids, and then all homeschooled.
Is she
Like, love you, mom.
local whatsoever? Not like, or is she like a little bit further away?
She's like a plane ride away that takes a long time, but you know, hopefully that'll change.
We should go surprise her. Give her the GRC surprise.
Yeah, fly up there and say what's up.
Hey, I'm always like, every family I've ever joined, they just add me like to the 8th kid list or like the 5th kid. Like I'm always like the kid that's like, oh, I have 4 kids and Scott hangs around a lot. Like,
yeah.
Second to think about our moms, man. My mom is absolutely incredible. One of the most amazing, upbeat, positive. She has her ups and downs too, but she's working hard constantly. She's a grinder. Like there's no whether she could prepare a party for 100 people in 3 days. Like, you know what I mean? From scratch, no problem. And she'll do it every weekend. You know, like she's there to make sure, facilitate, just like I'm kind of feel like the facilitator of a lot of like this friend group, right? Like I like to bring people together, right? My mom does the same thing in her, like she's just a lot of the same way, but like obviously with different stuff. So I learned a lot about giving from my mom. My mom's she's a spender. Don't get that twisted. But she is a giver too. She'll give everything to someone else that doesn't have it.
That's awesome. Deep respect. I'm going to just read this comment here. Deep respect to Sam Stoltz's mom. She is a legend. Homeschooling kids and amazing to let alone half a football team. Oh my God. When we would have dinner and there's 9.
How the hell? I don't even like when you say something so trivial like my mom was homeschooling that many kids. Like, yeah, it slips by my brain, but like, what? Like,
try 9 people at the dinner table, and I was not a saint.
I refuse to get a dog. I refuse to get a dog because I'm so worried about the extra work.
Imagine
if someone was like, Scott, I'm sorry, this is how life is. You have to take care of 9 kids for a couple months. Just for a couple months. Like literally, imagine someone just took you from your position there. Like, Sam, it's just the way life goes. You have to come over here 3 months. All these kids need your help or something like that. And like, you have to just like homeschool 10 kids for 3 months. Like, imagine how much work that would be like me. I would rather go to Iraq and start fucking give me fucking something to do, Captain. I don't know how to do this shit.
And then you got to feed all of them and make sure all this shit's taken care of. Like
anyone who's worked 14 hours a day knows, like we would love to go to our chairs and just like work, right? Like once that stuff comes in, I'm like, I'm a worker guy. I'm out.
Yeah, I'll make sure that we have plenty of money, babe. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but like we'll hire a nanny.
It's so much better for me that way. Like if I wish I had a woman that was like, and I don't mean this in any bit of a sexist way, but like in general, like if somebody wants to put all the pressure on me for making money, that's cute because I have all the pressure anyway. So like, might as well.
You're gonna put way more on yourself no matter what.
Right. It's like I wake up every 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm like fucking staring at every update that I could possibly stare at. I was on a Terra Luna chat room this morning, like poking ass at these guys for unpegging. Just playing around, right? Like it's just all over. I'm trying to get involved. I need to see this for what it actually is, Sam, instead of what everyone tells me it is. I have to, and it's so hard, Sam. And it is hard. This is a hard thing for humans to do. I know this because I've only done it for one other subject. It happened to be bodybuilding, but for most people, it's probably something else. Like, how long did it take me to dig through the bullshit of bodybuilding when I really cared? When I said, This year, I am going to look so deeply into this that there will be not one person in my area that knows more than me of the details. And it still took me 3 years to get to the truth. 3 years. And I was paying motherfuckers. To get the truth. And I still couldn't find it because they would hide the truth. Because I didn't learn until Richard Hart told me that those guys in that paid group were lying to me. They were lying to me. I believed them until the day I found Richard Hart. Even though I lost some money, I still believed that they were being honest, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
But Richard told me they're not, because they know the truth and they don't tell you it.
But there's that perspective, though. There's that perspective where so many people think that what they're doing is the truth because that's the
But they all have
stories.
100 million hex, and they don't glorify that part of it, right? These guys have fat mother effing hex bags. But like they'll do groups of people where a lot of the subjects are like majority things that at the end of the day, I bought all the things that they were selling. They all got wrecked. They did, because I told you.
Yeah.
I bought Celsius. They told me Solana Summer. It's down 85%. They said Solana Summer up that way. But
I don't even know what these
things
things
the whole entire time. We fell out of the parabola. I'll see you in 2 years. And he said it straight up and down. He just fucking, and I was like, it was blowing my mind. I'm like, no one's paying this guy. Who's telling this motherfucker to say this? Why would he owns Bitcoin? All these are all things I'm thinking in my chair. Why does this rich fat dude say the top's in on Bitcoin? I know he has a bunch of it. Because he didn't care. He truthfully, just like we don't care. I got robbed for everything I owned.
I think
100 days ago, I truthfully did not care that much compared to some other people. Just like it's the same perspective. Like his incentives are different a little bit because he already mastered that game for him.
I don't know if this is going to be an explosive next couple of years. When I think about, I was talking to a buddy yesterday and explaining what is happening in crypto. And he knows about crypto, how when you look at the adoption of crypto in general, I believe it's going to follow an exponential curve. That's what happens with new technology, right? If you look back at cars, same thing what happened with cars. It was on an exponential curve. Cell phones, exponential curve. Like you look at any new technology type thing, and it tends to follow an exponential curve. We're watching the same thing take place with EVs. By the end of this decade, you're not going to be able to buy an ICE engine vehicle, or there's going to be very like unique like use cases where you buy a gas-powered vehicle. They're all going to be EVs. The same thing is taking place with cryptocurrency in terms of adoption following an exponential curve. For people who don't know what that means, it's going to be something where there's a long run up where it barely looks like it's growing at all, and then it just goes fucking crazy to the moon. When it just goes fudge.
I'm like, hey Roman, get that on a meme real quick. Fudge.
So what if it took us 14 years to get to 2.5% of the world population that owns crypto? And now you have like crazy lunatics like us just talking to everybody like they will fucking listen. Sorry. Everybody that will listen about crypto. In the next 5 years, when we go from 2.5% to 5% of the world population owning crypto, think of the effect that that's going to have on crypto prices. It is going to be crazy, crazy times and very volatile as we go from, because if you have a double in the number of people who are purchasing something, you're not just going to have a double in the prices. You're going to have what it could be a 5, could be 150x in terms of prices. It's going to be crazy.
People don't understand. There's a few things I'm understanding as I go that I realize that a lot of people don't understand. Newer guys, obviously. It's so hard to understand price action. Sam, do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like as I get a little bit better, I'm starting to, but still, like tight liquidity, like somebody making a $7 million buy and it shooting up the price by 75%, that's still a little iffy in my head. Like it's hard for me to necessarily grasp it all the time. Yes, I can understand math, right? You pull out of a pool, comes out of one side, goes in the other, right? It's just an equation, right? But still, the tight liquidity, Sam. Do you know what I'm saying? That makes the price action so volatile, right? But the staking feature kind of doubles it back on the other end because there's not so much sell pressure. But like, what do you think about that tight liquidity? Like, how much?
So when we were talking, I think it was to Wendy's, and he was saying that, like, Pulse has the same, 10,000x in 2-year potential, right? Which I agree it could, right? But then you kind of get like a good case study of when you don't have that feature of locking it up, right? Because you're going to have so much more liquidity with Pulse. It could be more challenging, right? Because then, like, as you mentioned, like people selling things on double or triple or whatever the case is, when they do that and they experience that in the market, they're not going to do that with their hex packs, right? Because if it's locked up for 5 years and you get 3 doubles and 4 doubles and 10 doubles and then 100 doubles, right? Like, okay, cool. Well, I got to give up my shit or sell some stuff, right? Because it's just not happening. But with Pulse, people can just sell it. So I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but it'll be an interesting case study because you'll have a tax where it's got the liquidity, and then
This
Pulse
is like a
so much
social
more.
experiment on every steroid humanly possible. Inject $10 billion and see what the F happens. Like, this is new tech, like right here, Sam. Like, we are right in the knuckles of it. And no, dude, it's crazy to think about because the tech boom, the fucking LA shit. LA, are you kidding me? I would never even step. No hate, Kyler. I know you live there and you're an actor. That's different. I'm not an actor. So I would never in a million years step foot there for $100 million business deal. I wouldn't even step foot over there. I don't care. I don't like doing stuff like that. So like, that trend, like before it was like, you have to be over there physically to like get involved in tech, Sam. It was like a physical barrier. And now it's like, I live in shithole. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where we
have you heard of these things? And maybe somebody in the comments, there's no code options that are coming out, which I don't know a lot about. But if you were wanting to design something, there's software or there's programs or services available where you can kind of draw things, and because the way it's set up, you're drawing it and it actually creates the code to build the interface that you're looking for. I'm very new at like trying to understand no code, but it's very interesting. Has anybody in the comments?
We're going to get Fashion Coder to help us code. So she said to me that she would give us a little demo. She didn't actually say this, but I'm going to infer this for her. Fashion Girl, will you give Sam and me a little bit of a noob's demo on how to start learning about code? Is that fair to say, Sam? Would that be fun? I think Fashion Coder,
I think it would be,
that because Fashion Coder, what she does, that is her expertise. So like, that's what she does. She helps people understand that stuff in a lot or a little, depending on their, where they're at, which I think is great because I need to know more. Now I'm realizing I can't rely on anyone. Whoops. So I have to figure out everything myself.
We can do that on the show if she wants to and do it live, because then other people who are interested in that would probably get value out of learning the intricacies of how to do the code and the details. Like, I thought about learning code for 10 years and I started to get into Python at one point, and then I just stopped and never actually followed through and taking any steps further, because that's just good. Even if you don't do anything with that, what you learn in that it's an additive thing that allows you to apply what you learned here in other cases of things that you do in life, or have a more intelligent conversation with somebody who is building something for you using something similar to that in the future. And if you don't understand that fundamental piece of it, it makes it much more challenging to get what you want. You're going to pay higher prices. You're not going to be able to articulate how you want to do something because you can't speak that language. It'd be like trying to communicate with somebody in Spanish, right? If you don't understand a little bit of Spanish, it's very challenging to do so. And that's how I feel about, coding, or if I was trying to explain how I wanted something done to a developer, I wouldn't be able to do that very well, I don't think.
I got enough. Like, I mean, with all this nuance, I'm so done helping people learn stuff. Like, it's just not possible. It's not. I can provide information myself, but I can't specifically help people learn nuanced concepts that are already on the internet. Like, if you ask me one of those questions online, I'm just never going to answer you again because I don't have enough. I mean, come on, guys. Like, who has enough time to answer a bunch of DMs about questions that you could already look up? Just like, and for example, I was on a show last night and this dude was giving me some fucking heat about like, I don't onboard random ass people to Hex. I don't. And I tell people that I don't like onboarding random ass people to Hex because I don't like leading people to a slaughterhouse.
What do you mean?
Because when I'm telling a random person about Hex, they don't have any nuanced understanding of any of this. Therefore, they stake on a computer that they're looking at porn 10 times a day and they don't care enough, right? If somebody comes to me with a crypto question, I'm going to tell them where the right place is. But the liability of telling a bunch of random people to start putting their money on the internet into a world they have no fucking clue about is absolutely ignorant and is absolutely reckless and is stupid, frankly. And if serial onboarding people is stupid. Onboarding people that are educated and understand, not stupid. How do you do that in a time-efficient way? You become so popular that everybody watches you.
It's easier to onboard people that way. But there's definitely could be some issues with onboarding people. Like the same thing goes with fitness when people talk about testosterone or SARMs or different types of peptides. And it's like you're asking a question that's not really relevant to what is taking place, or like, you know, there's so many other pieces that can go with it. With you're referencing security, using certain computer, you're doing other shit on the computer.
You know how many airdrops pop up on your computer on MetaMask, Sam, that ask you to connect to a random airdrop that's totally free, and it says, "Do I have permission for your USD here? USDC?" You click yes, of course. Why not? You ask you a million questions. Why not click yes again? Are you going to prepare the guy for that? How are you going to do that? Are you going to front run that one click that's going to happen in 3 months that he's going to do? No, you're not. So
I've never seen one of those things before personally.
I have, but like just like Telegram, right? Like, you know, on Telegram, the random groups come up out of nowhere. You didn't jump into them, you didn't sign up for them, but your name's in them, right?
Yep.
It just somehow distributes out to a random subset of people. But it kind of keeps it on the low. Like, it's not like public. It kind of like, it's a quick little attack, right? But they're not always bad too, because that's how regular airdrops are done. So you see what I'm saying? Like, how can I possibly have the responsibility of telling another grown man who works every single day to lock into a smart contract onto a MetaMask, which MetaMask is half garbage, and you know,
there's a lot more.
How many points of failure do I need before I'm not helping random people?
Yeah, there's a lot more. I'd still cross that bridge.
So we're about 3 months in, Sam. We're about 3 months in, Sam. Could I have wrapped that whole Hex conversation and securities up to you in about 2 hours? Would you have understood in 2 hours?
I definitely think it takes time for people to grasp it. Like, maybe I would have, but I don't. I think for
but even if like the security, the nuances, just like, how could you get all the way to that, right? I wouldn't even be able to. It would tell people, Sam. I say I look another man or a woman in the face. I say, it's your responsibility to start learning about this now. And I promise you, you have to for yourself. I'm not going to tell you to buy anything, but do I have to tell them what I'm doing? Broadcast my face on the internet all day long about Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, other cryptos, like, period.
Yes. Did you see this comment from Motley? Because I've had people add me to their group too, and that's something I'm going to add to my to-do list so it doesn't happen, getting added in there. How was your first week of the Crypto Fitness Challenge? How is your progress coming along?
Amazing. Perfect.
Why don't you tell some details of things that you've changed over the week to like make progress and that kind of thing?
Fucking boulder shoulders. But so what I started to do is I just got more aggressive in the gym. Like, more aggression, way more aggression. I'm pissed off now. I have something to prove in there again. You know what I mean, Sam? Like, to me, it's very emotional in there.
So did you increase the volume in the gym?
Oh my God. Maybe another hour every session. Like, I've been literally doubling what I was doing and going twice a day. I just can't stop. Now, when I have a goal, Sam, I get too excited. Like, I'm so driven in that way. You see when I get in my lag periods, right? Where I'm like, I don't really care. But then once that goal is like once in the goal to me is is 175 pounds. Like I just want 175 because my body is not gaining fat, Sam. Like it won't gain fat anymore.
Well, I will, but it's
No, you know what I mean? It takes so much more than
100%,
before.
yeah.
It takes so much more effort than before that I can just outwork it out because I'm so willing to work out too. Like I really love, like I'll do back twice a day. I like people do this whole thing where like they won't, oh, my back's a little sore and I'm not like, I don't think about it like that. I just want to pull something. I want to, like if I was in a fight, imagine being like, I don't want to use my back today.
I've been thinking about going twice a day because I used to do it for a long time.
It's a disease.
It's fun. It is definitely you definitely don't need to do
it. It's a disease. Don't do this,
you,
guys. I have something wrong with me.
Did you increase your caloric intake?
So yes, carbs, absolutely. I immediately noticed that I needed more fruit and carbs in my body immediately. Like my body was starting to be like almost like malnourished in the morning because I started working out harder than I added calories, if you know what I was still adding calories, but I was working out way, way harder. So then I just said, screw this. I'm just going to start eating. And I've just been eating. Like I ate 7 eggs this morning and 2 bagels and 2 bananas, I think, like throughout the whole morning. Just like, and for me, that's like something to work out on, like was a good meal to work out on. But lots of eggs, lots of smoothies, lots of so much chicken thigh, dude. I've been smoking like 6 chicken thighs every night.
Did you keep your TRT dose the same?
Yeah, so I've stayed 100% the same dose. I've never changed it for months now. Every time I even think about changing it, I'm too sensitive. My body's very sensitive to any androgens. So if people always say like, oh, you do this, you do that. If I do anything, I get a little too emotional. If you know what I mean. It unregulates me quickly. Where some people can do like a bucket of steroids and they'll just like pick their butt and like go walk and go lift. For me, there's like, and I've only done this once back about 2 years ago or a year ago now. And I was too emotional. It was very emotional for me. It was controlling. It was like, I was too like I wanted to like fuck all the time. And I wanted to like, it was too much.
Yeah.
My TRT dose is 125 milligrams per week, three doses.
So you split that 125 into 3 doses?
3 or 4, but like it always ends up 3.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And people, guys, I know that can be very taboo and hard, and like it hits you right in the chest when you hear it. But I've been doing this for a decade, and it's just the reality of the situation, guys. Like we're here to bring the truth to you guys, and we promise from us that we're never going to pick around it, right? Like we're going to let you guys know what's actually going on, so we don't have to have all these mistakes. That if you don't want to watch somebody who's doing this, that, or the other, at least we'll let you know what the fuck it is, so you can get the fuck out of here.
Correct. Exactly.
We'll be honest. I linger on channel for months, and they don't tell me what their actual motive is, and then I finally figured out. I'm like, damn it! I thought this guy was cool.
Yes, yeah. So I want to share a couple of things that I'm doing to drop body fat, because that's like 60 or 70% of the people who signed up for the challenge were like, I want to drop some body fat. So
and just for reference, guys, this is a 250-pound gorilla behind the screen, not your average puppy. He is my fitness coach. If you're new, well, he's one of my best friends, and he is my ex-fitness coach, now co-host of the show Crypto in the Morning. And he's 250 pounds. He's dropping weight rapidly right now. Like and he's going to slow down, hopefully.
Very much so this week. Drop it. Actually going to increase my calories this week.
Emotionally, how has it been with the food?
Easy. It's not even slightly. Like I don't even think about it.
Why don't you have any of that response to like the growling and the anger?
I mean, like maybe I'll get like I think about hunger, but it's not like it's okay, cool. Like it comes, it flashes.
Is your sex drive the same?
Yeah, same. And I actually feel better. So I dropped calories. I used to eat a lot of pistachio and walnut homemade butter, like peanut butter, but it's pistachio and walnut, so there's no lectins in it. And I would have probably 3 bags of pistachios, 8 to 10 ounce bags, and 2 bags of walnuts. So 5 bags of nuts per week. So I cut that out. So it's easily able to drop a bunch of fat, right? And that, if you're not aware, fat has more calories than protein. or carbohydrates. So that was a big change. And then on Sundays, I'm just doing 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day. So it's not even slightly challenging. Like
the one, to be honest, I have more trouble eating than not eating.
It's so easy to like not eat for me.
It's so easy.
Like so
I
easy.
can work more. I'll drink a little bit of tea and we'll just move on here. Like, you know,
like if I bet like if I was just not really focused on fitness, I would probably stay somewhere between 200 to 220 because it's so easy to
if
just
I was
not
100% a computer nerd, I'd be 130 pounds. 100%. I would literally weigh 130 pounds. My body is begging me to have less weight now. But in like a nice way. It's not like hard, but like at the same time, it's nicer to be moving that way when you're working out really hard because I can just eat a little more, right? Like it's not, people think like I'm a skinny fat dude. I'm like, no, I've transformed my body to fat, back to freaking the most ripped dude in the gym, back to fat. And it's not
hard once you
my
do
brother's
it.
body. If you looked at my brother's body, he would look like the most normal dude ever. My dad's body, the most normal dude ever. Fit, leaner guys, but like my genetics for working out are poor, very poor.
MJ, so one thing you can do that we actually talked about is you can make liquid calories. So and also start first thing in the morning. You can have some type of protein shake with fruit or something, banana, oats in there, things like that, and put in 500 calories, and that's an easy 500 calories onto your day, and it's something super simple to do. Like people are like, I eat a lot of food and I can't gain weight. It's because you're not eating enough food, period.
And so I know what you're saying. Like, how do I become somebody who wants to eat more food? You have to eat more regularly, to be honest. Like, if you're skipping huge meals, I'm telling you, your body's not. It's going to get comfortable skipping huge meals, right, Sam? Like, isn't it? Your body can get really used to fasting really quick because guess what? People have been starving their whole entire generation of humans, other than like the last 150 years, right? Like. Let's think about it though. People, how many men, just like you and me, Sam, had to go 3 days without eating for no reason other than that was the
you just couldn't find food. We're out hunting and we don't get food. Well,
you die,
we're not eating.
Absolutely not. You don't die after 3 days of not eating. Not even close, baby. We're just getting started. If you want to talk about actually dying, because I'm not eating for 3 days before, and it's doable.
Is Richard Hart going live today?
If anyone wants to clarify that, shoot me a link, anything like that, to let me know. Richard, I went through like 4 plates of food on Cabana's show. Motley, do not overeat to gain muscle. Motley, you do not need to overeat. You only need to eat a surplus 500, 600, 700 more, in my opinion, roughly. You never
just
really
for a
need
long enough period of time. Yeah. And train really hard. If you're trying to gain muscle, like the
train hard.
More volume. So I don't train heavy. I train voluminous. I do a lot of volume. Sometimes I'll do like a 1 set for 100 reps, and I'll do like 4 of those sets. I'm doing 400 reps for 1 exercise.
Motley, are you still fasting? Are you still fasting during the day, Motley? Motley's a very strong participant, and he's a front runner. Well, I don't know if he's a front runner. He's actually not allowed to win. He's not allowed to win. He wants to win the bragging rights for life against all of us. That's what really Motley's aiming for, bragging rights. And if Motley comes out of this thing like a fucking gorilla I'm going to be
there's no way he could do you realize how lean I'm going to be in 90 days, dude?
Yeah, but it's transformative value, Sam. So like the transformative value from you being a gorilla super lean 250 to like a gorilla super lean 230 is like still a gorilla super lean to most people, right? Except me, I'll notice all your definition and stuff, but like all the girls at the gym will be like, he lost 30 pounds. He looks big to me. You know what I mean? That classic, like, Mom, I lost 20 pounds. It's like, oh, you're so big and strong to me. You're like,
calisthenics?
Yeah, what's your opinion on calisthenics? I absolutely love calisthenics. I do about 300 dips a day and probably 5 or 6 sets. Yeah, either at home or at the gym. I have dip bars all over. I love dips so much because – and you know what I've started to do, Sam? I'll videotape this today. I can now start from a dip, go straight to a handstand push-up, and start doing handstand push-ups on the thing.
Yes. Hell yeah, dude.
But like I have to put my feet up against the wall because but I can still do it. Like without any extra weight.
I don't personally do very I don't do like any calisthenics. I barely ever do dips. I barely do push-ups. I've just been trying to work push-ups in maybe like I've done it twice in the last like 2
Since you
months.
got wrecked at the Sally Challenge, you've been a little. Remember when I wrecked you early
Well,
early GRC stream?
My buddy was talking about how he'll do them between his sets, and he's been really enjoying doing push-ups between sets when he's training chest. So I was having a conversation with him, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should try doing that, even if it's just a set of 10 to help build a chest. So I did it once or twice in the last like 2 months, but I haven't done it since.
Can me and Sam, when me and Sam get really lean, Motley and Wendy's, can we be some of the pictures on the Hex merch site with the new gym gear that I'm going to pitch to you guys or something? Like, come on, like I need a stringer. I need something. Hey, I'd love to do some modeling. If there's anyone out there that needs anyone to do anything like that, I'm going to be basically modeling in about probably 110 days. Probably 110 days, I'll be right around like absolutely disgustingly like ready peak, and I can't hold it for too long. So I'll probably hold it for like 60 days, 90 days, 100 days. I'm going to document the whole thing because I already did this and I saw what my body did with it. It didn't love it, but like, oh my God, I was benching 225 for like 17 at one point. And I'm 164 pounds right now.
Yeah, 225 for reference is like a warm-up for me. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but use the Smith machine up with your little tutu on. Okay? No, I'm kidding. No,
I thought you liked the Smith
video with
machine.
you going with the tutu to the gym and doing a full workout for variety.
That would be pretty fucking hilarious. My goal for fitness for 2022 is to be able to do a split by the end of this year.
Oh, I told Bullish you could already do a split. I fudded someone. No, I told someone you could split today.
I'm getting there. I'm stretching 5 days a week on getting closer and closer to a split, like a full split. Whatever, there's like different types of splits you can do, but like the actual full split is my personal objective. I have basically 6 months or 7 months to do that, and I've been stretching every day or 5 days a week.
I know you're not a huge fan of sports, okay? I'll say it, okay? He's not a huge fan of sports. But if I become 100 millionaire or so and I start a UFC type situation, will you support UFC if I do that? Or
I'll support you in whatever you decide to do.
So will you support me fighting other grown men for hundreds of thousands of dollars in the cage?
When you say support, like I support you doing whatever.
No, like I want to watch you and Steaks and Apes in the cage. This is what I mean by support. I don't really care if you support the company, it's going to be great. Okay, I need your 250-pound gorilla body to go at it with another 200. Okay, listen to me. Let me pitch you one thing. Let me pitch you one thing, and let me tell you, if I wrote a contract for this and it was real, if you would take it or not. Okay, this contract right here. If I got you a personal fighting trainer, top tier, $100,000 a year, gave him to you, plus a diet, nutrition, MMA dude gave him to you for the year, and you got to train the whole time for free, just on that. And I did the same thing for Steaks and Apes. Would you battle him in a ring for $100,000?
Probably.
For charity, the other $100,000 goes to charity. The other $100,000 goes to charity.
Would it be MMA or would it be boxing?
No, you go in there and you guys are fighting full.
Like MMA?
Like you're going to tackle each other like gorillas.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that. What is there going to be? I wouldn't be opposed.
You'll spreadsheet the whole thing and turn into a.
I would just
like choke him out.
Beat him very badly, yeah.
and then who should I go against? We should do a crypto boxing thing. That would be interesting. A crypto boxing. We can bring in the top people who are interested, and we could do a crypto boxing match like annually or something, or every once in a while, like a celebrity type fight. Kind of thing. I want to fight BitBoy. How much money do we have to shill BitBoy? If I had $1 million for BitBoy, do you think he would fight me in the cage? He's probably got me by 100 pounds. We're talking about after a year of training with the best specialists. Guys, could I fight BitBoy in the cage? He's got me by 4 inches, maybe 60 pounds. Hey, Joker, we could fight in the cage. Joker said he's a Muay Thai specialist, I'm pretty sure. We could probably pay him a couple $100,000 and he'd come in the cage with GRC and get absolutely ruined.
We get the hexagon hex fights. We could do that. The boxing. So I think I know you like the UFC, but I also see the from a detention grabbing standpoint is how I'm looking at it, and a business standpoint, like the boxing thing is also very, very popular right now because of the come up of like over the last like 4 years, how there's been a lot of celebrity ones. GRC versus Joker. That might be interesting. I don't know who BitBoy is. If he's
BitBoy's like the most popular like CNN of crypto. He's like the CNN of crypto. He's just like he'll say whatever is literally told for him to say with a certain amount of dollar numbers. Look him up. He's the literally most popular crypto like rando like. Hey guys, do you want to buy XRP today? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, he's like a chunkier fellow, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying a year of training.
I don't think he'd have much of a chance, probably. But who knows? I don't know what his background is if you just go by his look. Like, you know, because you never know for sure.
The CNN of crypto, ouch. The CNN of crypto, ouch. Sorry, BitBoy. Sorry, brother. I had to say it, bro. How much, guys? I'm going to say this in the comments. How much?
Would it be drug tested? I would definitely win.
if it was non-drug tested event, Sam would definitely dominate the pharmacology department in that he'd be like on so much EPO, like he could not possibly get tired if like he ran 3 miles like straight.
Maybe some GW or something like that.
So fun fact, guys, for anyone wants to know some UFC alpha / biology alpha, Sam, this will be good for you too. So how do you pass a drug test in the UFC while you're using supplements, Sam? Let's talk about it because I've looked into it, okay? So these drug tests are very, very sensitive, Sam. We're talking RAD 140. Everything comes up on them, like all the way to the SARM. Anything that they've listed or seen.
Yeah, I've read a couple of those studies. There are some of the stuff you can detect them.
So what do you have to do? People get confused. And what do the dumb bodybuilders do? I mean, what do the dumb UFC fighters do? They take an androgen, right? They're like, let me take some random compounds. The first thing that comes up on the test, because it's unique, right? It's unique. Why would you take something unique that would show up on a test? How do you do it, though? You can take EPO, human growth hormone, and testosterone. Why? Because they cannot legally tell you what the upper limit normal is for those things. So if your tests are always similar,
if you get into it, but they're going to check the ratios.
You can, because these guys are smart like this when they're 17 now, 16. They're young when they do this now. Mm-hmm. This isn't like they're not drug tested until they're in the UFC. They're not drug tested like that. So think about that. They already have a full management team. Guys, I'm just talking legit here. I've seen the 185-pound champion of the world, Idriel Adesanya. Everyone is supposedly 100% natty. Like everyone thinks it's like cut the line. This dude shows up with a ginormous gynecomastia tit, and he says it was from smoking marijuana. He told everyone it was literally, I'm going to pull up the picture while you're talking. Like
this is from a year
185
ago, right?
pounds skin and bone, and he has a ginormous nipple coming off of his breast.
Yeah, I remember this. It was like a year ago, wasn't it?
And he's still fighting and still said it was weed, and everyone just let it go. Why? Because he makes $100 million for Dana White every time he fights. But guess what? If I was in there making $12,000 a fight and I got popped with a big nipple, but how do they also tell? Guess what? John Jones, the #1 fighter in history, got caught with Clomid of all things. The dumbass got caught with Clomid. The dumbass. This is the best fighter in the history of the world, and he got caught trying to come off cycle during a drug test. Like, why wouldn't he just? And then he took Tranabol.
Yeah. That's
like the one drug that's like the easiest.
They have to be used because a lot of peptides are just natural, like in your body, and they're very, 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 very short in how they act in your body, but they can have the effects that actually.
Sam, you should work for one of these motherfuckers, dude.
It's because there's a lot of different peptides they can do for a lot of shit. That's pretty cool.
I mean, we hate to cheat, but if people are already cheating, we'll give you the right.
Hey, did you know caffeine can actually increase your testosterone? They did a study in rugby players. And
I want you to talk about this for a second. I want to hear this, like front to bottom. Show someone how you would mention something like this. And when did you start studying this recently, or was this something old?
This is a long time ago because I wanted to
mention the study and like what you heard and like how it is applicable.
So in the bodybuilding, people are always trying to increase their testosterone, right? Or to get some type of advantage. There's a study. I don't remember where it was out of, but it was rugby players. You can find the study. They tested these rugby players with caffeine pre-competition, and they gave them 200, 400, 600, and 800 milligrams. And you might be like, oh, that's a lot of milligrams of caffeine. But I mean, 800 milligrams of caffeine sounds like a lot to somebody who doesn't take caffeine, but I used to take a lot of caffeine, like a gram a day, and it's really not that much, sometimes even more than a gram a day, which for reference might be, 5 to 8 cups of coffee type of thing. I don't drink coffee. I use caffeine pills. So anyways, after they did their testing, they found that the 800 milligram, there was a dose dependent response, but the 800 increased testosterone substantially. Significant enough for it to be reported. Even the 600 milligrams increased testosterone. So when GRC mentions that cheating, right? It's like there's a fine line of where you draw PEDs or where you draw cheating. If you're not aware, there's tons and tons of people who use things like modafinil or Adderall or Ritalin, or there's a couple other things like that with different nootropics who are in business or in law school, or I was in grad school, right? A top university for finance in the world, like a top 25 school. And you know how many people in my class were taking like Adderall or modafinil to help them with their studying, and they were also working at the same time? There's like, where do you want to draw the line, right? Where do you want to draw the line if something is a performance-enhancing drug or not a performance-enhancing drug, right? It really depends on the individual and whatever you're doing.
Then? What's your opinion then? At what point are you crossing that line as far as you could become dangerous to another human because of the capabilities that you're able to do?
I want to be there.
I know, but for the UFC's sake, right? There's like 265-pound men. Like if they could actually kill each other and snap each other's necks.
It's going to happen. I said this 2 or 3 years ago. I think that's going to be happening. Whether it happens this year,
I do too. They're getting so strong and explosive, Sam. I mean, they're so.
Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die. I don't watch any of that stuff.
And I don't agree with. And that I love UFC as a martial art, and these guys are just like me. The guys that fight, they really love. They're obsessed with their shit. So I kind of like, I like their kind of story and stuff. They're always like starting from the bottom, right, Sam? The fighters, you know how it is.
University of Rochester. Sorry.
Is that where you went?
Fighters. Yes.
How was that experience for you? How was that experience for you?
In all honesty,
talk about it for a second. Bring us back.
So I was homeschooled my whole life. So you get this idea that you're in a different place than everybody else. Because I was homeschooled, everybody else is in school. I think that you're learning stuff that I'm supposed to be learning because you're in school. But in reality, I don't realize that what you're learning is just garbage, right? But at the time, I didn't know this. So I think that
were you learning garbage, or was your mom like giving some good shit?
Good shit, but it was more so just like, I don't remember it.
Like, it was just like normal ass shit. Like, was she just trying to make sure you guys knew everything?
Yeah, basically. From my understanding, I'm sure there was a little bit of more structure than that, but like my siblings remember a lot more from like when I was younger than I do. It seems like a lot of the time. I'm not sure.
Sam had a helmet on and he was in the basement. So
yeah. I got to wear a helmet outside. Did you? I wore mine inside as well.
I was the helmet kid too. If my mom had to homeschool me, what she would have done is tied me up from a rope and just let me hang there because I wouldn't stop moving until someone silenced me.
People who think an MBA, and I don't know. Chad said that he got hit.
I don't even know what an MBA is. If I'm being 100% honest, I have not a clue.
It's probably not worth it for the vast majority of people. An MBA, like I didn't even buy books.
What is it? What's it called?
Masters of Business Administration, and then
Masters of Business Administration.
You can do. So I had a concentration in finance and accounting, and it.
So when you go into school, you say, is it a certain amount of years? Is that?
Yeah, I was doing my part-time, so mine did, I think it was 3 years. But if you went,
so if I wanted to get my MBA, what would I have to do if I was starting right now as an 18-year-old?
There's a GMAT, which is like kind of like an entrance exam you'd have to take. So you'd have to do that. Then that is going to help dictate what schools you actually go to. I was homeschooled.
The Amish kid, I was homeschooled 1 year and just did no work and cheated the whole year.
So
back for the Amish kid. What savage? I was a cheater too. Hey, I'll tell you what I did. I was in the regular school system for 18 years and I had a girlfriend and I asked her what to do.
Think about what school promotes. First of all, it's just trash in terms of the education. If you think that school is going to be
They
preparing
promote
kids-
silence.
What he just said about cheating. Now, think about this in school. School tells you collaborating and working in a team is a bad thing, right? You got to go take a test.
They
If
told me
you're
the
looking,
way I was moving was bad, but that's the only reason I am successful.
and you need to what's going to be if the idea for school is that it's supposed to prepare kids for the next thing in their life, then why is it teaching kids that collaborating with other people and actually working in a team with somebody else is a bad thing? If you're taking a test and I'm taking a test and we work together, that's called cheating in the school. Right? Why is that? But that's the most important things.
I know, but it's not even that dense because the teachers don't care at all because they're plebs, dude. Like that. And I'm not saying if you're a teacher, that's not a good job, but let's be frank. I go to the doctor's office and my doctor sounds like a freaking child compared to Hex Orca. Like when I'm talking to Hex Orca, there's detail. There's intimate understanding and experience. And when I talk to my doctor, it's like, I haven't read anything in a while, bro. I'm tired as fuck. That's the vibe I get. That, and I'm just calling a spade, and it sounds funny, right? But like when I go to my doctor and I ask these intimate questions that I've really wrote down and thought about for hours on end, and then the first time I really sat down with the doctor as an adult by myself, thinking this guy might have an answer for me, and he made me feel like I have no choice but to find this all out on my own, and I will never resort to another man because that man went to school for longer than I was alive. Whatever, you know what I mean? Forever.
No, correct.
And I went to school for how many minutes? 0. Other than like, you know, I passed school, so I was doing my work clearly, but I don't remember any of that shit. And all I remember is everyone yelling at me all the time for like failing and sucking and not being good at school. So I cheated and took Adderall until it worked out. Dude, that's the thing. It's like guys like me, what do we have to do? Like, if you don't focus and sit here, you're in trouble. Okay, someone stimulate me enough so I can sit here. Give me some drug. Please. What if I would have been a fucking track star if they let me run? What if I wanted to run?
Exactly. Right?
I wanted to run. I remember being in there just like, dude, we could sprint to the kickball court right now and get busy when I was little. I was like, we are doing nothing in here.
If you ever have kids, are you gonna? My kids are definitely not gonna go to school. They will definitely
no fucking chance. My kids are going to fucking public school, gonna do drugs, get killed on heroin. I did opiates before I was 16 years old.
Yeah. There's no fucking way. If my kids are gonna get fucked up, I'm gonna.
My parents don't even know that. You know the reason my parents don't even know that? Because I didn't even know it. That's how stupid I was. I would have taken some, it's just, you know what I mean? I was doing mushrooms, LSD constantly when I was 16, 17, 18 years old. I couldn't, it was too experimental. It was too curious. It was too available. My one friend in oh my God, let's talk about high school stories real quick. My high school was buck wild, bro. This dude, I remember I was in 9th grade, little kid. I was a little sucker, man. And he was like a grown ass dude. He was an older kid. And he just pulled out this big bag of mushrooms in class. And he was like, I'm high on these mushrooms. And I was like, what do you mean? I knew what mushrooms were, but I was like in school. Like I heard that was like,
well, you're 15 years old or something, right? Like,
well, yeah, but like, I mean, you know, I'd done weed and stuff. Like I smoked weed when I was really young. So I kind of knew. And like, I mean, I knew about stuff, but like, I remember just thinking like, there's a game here that other people don't talk about. You know what I mean? Like I went my whole time, and now this dude's like, you know, it's better.
Is that where you had like is that like the starting point?
No, the minute I smoked the first cigarette, I wanted to immediately start using whatever substance I could. I was so emotionally distraught as a child. I couldn't stop feeling everything. I was just like everything was. I was upset. Like I would be worried if my parents were like gone because I thought they might. Like I'm talking when I was little. Like I was a very stressed out, very hyper anxious OCD kid, like within my own mind. But like it just came out as like ADD crazy. But like I remember when I smoked weed for the first time, I said I'll do this every day for the rest of my life. I was like 12.
Wow.
But I didn't do it every day for the rest of my life. But like I remember thinking like if I could do this for the rest of my life, this would be cool.
Yeah.
So like it's those stories you tell yourself when you're really young that actually change the way you think. because I still smoke marijuana too much.
So it's funny you say that because those stories are 100% like creating the relationship that I have right now with my girlfriend. Absolutely amazing. Like she's wonderful, but I just get to do my own thing, which I think people should do, and they do things that are not what they want to do, and they wonder why there's resentment, and they wonder why they're not happy. But going back to what you tell yourself when you're younger, I look back and it's like, oh, this is the exact type of relationship that I wanted to create. One where I get to do my own thing. I focus on my shit. She's got her own shit going on. She focuses on that. Or with fitness, I was like 14 or 15 years old. I rode my bicycle to the recreation center to work out because that's how much I liked working out. I got like, they had punch passes. They didn't even have like swipe cards back in the day. You had a punch pass. You bought a punch pass and you can go to the recreation center and get your workout in. And I would ride my bike 3.5 miles to this recreation center to get a workout in. And there was this old dude in there.
How long?
It was 3.5 miles from my house.
That's a nice little bike ride.
Yeah, and I'm 15 years old. I'd ride there because I didn't have any way.
Yeah, but that's a good ride for a 15-year-old. That's a trek for sure.
And I'd go there and work out. I wasn't like going to try to fuck shit up or do crazy shit. I would be like, I want to go to the gym. This is so much fun. And there was an 84-year-old dude that was in there regularly that I would talk to and ask him questions.
Wow.
And I remember thinking when I was 15 years old that I was like, damn, I'm going to be his age and I'm still going to be in the gym too. And it's right. Like more than 20 years later, still in the gym, still loving it, like still really, really enjoying it. So I
remember people making fun of me for having a workout routine in high school. Like I had written down my workout routines, right? And it was like push-ups, pull-ups, bench press, but I would do it every day in weights class and everyone else would just play basketball, right? Because we had weights class at my school. So you actually had a class that was designed for weights, which was actually pretty cool. But we had a huge school for sports, right? Sports everywhere. Everyone was playing sports. I was a stud athlete, kind of like, there was kids that were better than me for sure, but like I was very involved in sports. So I was like, I'm small. I want to be better than these kids, and I need to be aggressive. I was like, I need to be aggressive because I'm physically smaller than them. And that's exactly what I did. I got stronger than them, and I got more aggressive and more explosive by training while I was going through puberty. Because I was training and they weren't. And they still, and I was moving like an adult. I started having power like an adult at a young age because I remember, for a very small kid, I was deadlifting 300 for 10, like as a 140-pound kid, stuff like that. Like, and people were like, Scott's talented, but not the strongest kid in the gym by any means, right? There's always kids in there who could lift more, but I was small and I was wiry and I was way more explosive than people. And I started realizing I could change the way my muscles were relating to the world. And like, I could change my fate. Like I was shit. One day I could look another man in the face and look at him and say, because when you're small and you get poked around a lot, being in sports in a rough, like alpha male environment, like you get poked around a lot and you don't like it. Right. And now I was like, I'll train to the point where those guys will be scared to even look in my direction. And that's what I thought at the time. Right now, I don't think like that as much. But it's definitely I still have a lot of that in my personality, right? Like it's still in there somewhere, but like I just don't care as much about it.
Did you talk shit when you would play sports and stuff?
Yes, I was very aggressive. I was the first one to throw a punch, first one to get busy with someone who's bigger than me. Like that, I had to prove. It was almost like I had to prove myself right away. Like, and it worked. It worked. It did work for what I was doing. But again, it was just more of a theme, right, in my mind. It wasn't like the reality as much as it was playing out in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people just saw like Scott's a little angry.
I never saw a point in like the basketball. I played a bunch with my brothers and stuff like that. But it's relatively like easy because I was always just, we'd always play with like this giant complex and there would be all these kids over there and a lot of them would be better than me at basketball. But it was like you were just slightly more aggressive. But I never saw a point in arguing about shit. Like it was like never worth it to me. Just like when I was younger, I wouldn't bring girls out on dates. I didn't see.
Well, you probably had some sort of dates. Again, it was like a free for all for me. Like in school, like I was just, my mind was wild, man. Like I was just a wild man. Like I couldn't control myself like at all. Like I can remember not being able to control myself, sweating, sitting in my seat. Back and forth. Like what? I want to get out of here. I want to look at the clock. I want to stare at the clock. Like it was like misery. It was pure misery in real time for years on end, to the point where I was just getting sent to the principal's office because it was more entertaining to me than sitting in class all day. It would make the time go by faster.
Oh yeah, because it's so miserable. They're just
Well, no,
sitting
like
in
it would
class.
cause drama in class. Somebody would come get me, and then I'd go to the principal's office. People would talk to me there. The people would see me in the hallway. It was like more stimulation. Like I was just sitting there like, this is fucking boring. It's like hell. But like my teacher at the time, I remember she was like 80 years old, and like she was known for being like almost like half alive. Like she was literally like it was a Latin class. It was Latin 4. I got kicked out of Latin class every single day. I got an A in that class too every single time because I cheated.
She was like, "There's no way I'm gonna deal with GRC again next year."
No, she wasn't even alive, dude. Like she didn't even know who GRC was. Like it was worse than that.
She
like,
just gave you an A, so she didn't have to deal.
She was literally like 10-yeared and like no longer functioning.
she just didn't want to deal with you coming into class again.
I threw a piece of like paper at her once, and like the whole class, she was just like, "I've been assaulted. Somebody call the police." Like literally, it was the fucking dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's when I realized like plebs will just pleb. Like she was like, "Somebody assaulted me. Make sure the principal comes." Anyway, let's get off that topic.
I actually got kicked out of my house when I was younger. Did not get along with my mother whatsoever.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Not even, and I didn't talk to her for like 6 years. I wouldn't speak to her even slightly. Like,
do you feel shame or like problematic, or is that all over?
It's all good.
Are you friends now?
Yeah. I probably talked to her more than like anybody else in my family, in all honesty, right? But like at the time, why wouldn't we? I mean, like I got kicked out, and then I wouldn't speak to her.
Was it your fault or hers?
6 years.
In hindsight.
Well, I'm sure I was fucking doing a lot of dumb shit, like sneaking out, like doing all sorts of stuff.
Bull ass at the time. She's like, I have so many kids. Like,
well, also, so she, my.
Were you the youngest? You're the youngest, so not the oldest, right? You're the youngest.
No, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest boy. So when my parents split up, she like took a lot of that out on me. It felt like in my time.
Oh, you were the oldest.
And then there's only like me in the house, right? My dad's
not there. You were like, F this. This is rough.
Because then it's like every single time she's going through it, right? Which is understandable. Like she's got fucking 7 kids, right? And then you have like some smart aleck like just talking shit back to you, like. Which, of course, I'm sure that was challenging to go.
You want to talk about crypto for a minute?
Yeah, let's get into crypto. I'm so excited about crypto, dude.
Guys, we're going to be doing real quick. Why don't you talk about this, Sam? Because I want to know what your perspective on this is.
I literally was thinking about this morning, and we're going to be doing a PulseChain launch premiere, bringing in different guests. Not exactly sure how we're going to structure this, but we're going to be doing it for 24 hours. I have no idea how I'm going to be doing this other than the catheter. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just like sit on top of a 5-gallon bucket so I can just shit in the 5-gallon bucket. So if you guys are interested in that, we're definitely going to be doing this. How do you even want to structure this, bro?
I'm going to structure it like this. There's going to be so much, Sam, that we're going to have absolutely no choice but to be sitting there and reporting what's going on in real time as we make our moves.
So listen to these guys.
So Sam, like we want to be like I'm not doing too many moves, right? But a lot of people are. So I'm going to be helping people with the rug pulls, with potential problems, with maybe scams, with maybe great plays. We'll be looking at the ratios live, Sam. We'll be looking at these ratios live, Sam.
Why don't you I'm not going to do any trading. I'm not going to be doing anything at all. So I think there's going to be a lot of people who lose money, who are noobs, who are going to like get in trouble.
And guys, the money that's on the testnet is not real. Please, guys, it's not going to be forked over. If you think that testnet money is real, you have to reevaluate what you're doing. Very much so, because people are DMing me that stuff, and it's like, guys, please focus up. If you DM me something that stupid, I probably won't answer because it pisses me off that bad. But no, I'm just kidding. I will answer, and I'll say no.
I want to see all the different projects. Do you know of a site or a resource, or anybody who's listening, where all of the crypto projects that are launching on PulseChain are listed?
Anybody that wants to throw up a cool ass pulse chain source or something we can look at real quick that you like, maybe like, hey, anything that you guys want us to look at too. We'll look at anything, anything on the charts, USD related, hex related, MACD related.
That guy Ronald from Luna, or the Terra Luna, mentioned that there's 600 projects that are launching this year on Terra. Like, to me, that's very bullish, and I want to know, like, how many projects are actually launching on Pulse, right? Like, is there a quantity? Is there a number? Where is anybody tracking this information? Because if you have, like, say with Terra Luna, and you have 600 projects launching on Terra, that's going to be like a lot of extra hands, mouths, and like attention marketing that are going to be bringing people into their ecosystem. And from a business standpoint, right? Because the businesses are going to set it up as a system or process to automatically kind of bring in new customers onto there. And I wanted to know, like, is anybody tracking this shit for Pulse? Because that's going to be a dictator of how successful Pulse is the ecosystem that evolves and flourishes around it.
The ecosystem's coming whether people like it or not. There's guys with money that have ideas just like us, huddled up around this country and the world, focusing as hard as they can on this opportunity. I'm not saying there's a lot of them, but there's some of them, certainly. You know, we got Hurricash, we got Fiat, we got liquid loans, we got
Power City,
we got
Mintra,
which that's going to be a whole episode.
Isn't there that Pulse meme coin too?
Pulse
Is that going to be some Pulse Doge?
2 Pulse Doges. There's all the ERC20s that you would want. Anything that you want to fork over, you can do. I mean, anything you want to provide liquidity for, you can if you have a position. And if you have a fat position in Shiba Inu or some shit, which a lot of these guys do, Sam, like when these guys say they're hexakins, and a lot of them are, they all are, but they don't. These guys have taxable events. They don't like them. A lot of them that are rich, right? Why would, if I bought 100 million Shiba Inu and I had $100,000 in the bank and I wanted to get into hex, I would personally use the $100,000 USD to get into hex due to that taxable event. Would be annoying to me, unless I needed the money.
Unless, right? So here's a cool thing that Kinetics was talking about the other day. And I don't know if you caught this. So if you set up,
I was there, but kind of like in and out.
If you can set up and I'm not a tax advisor, like you should talk to your fucking accountant.
None of us are providing any sort of advice. We're actually lying and telling stories only.
Yes. So this is just for information purposes, for fun. So if you set it up as your investment, as like a company that's doing the investment, so like an LLC, as like a family office that's doing the investment, then you could sell the Shiba Inu, right, which is going to cause a taxable event there, and then take that and put it into hex and burn it and stake it into the future. So you have a taxable event on this side, and then over here, because it's in an LLC.
Say it again. Wait, real quick before you say that again. That, and then I want to add on that at the end of that another question. The 24-hour stream will not just be entertaining AF, but will help a lot of people, guys. That is my number one goal. My only goal here is to impress all you guys so you make me wildly famous, okay? So understand that. I'm just totally fucking with you. No, but I'm kidding. I don't know why I said that. It's a joke. But you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, literally, I'm doing this.
A joke that he's 100% serious about.
I'm doing this full time now, but literally all I can do as a man to feel fulfilled when I wake up is to provide that value. I promise I don't feel it otherwise. I will immediately stop doing this.
It's not worth it.
I just would rather I would rather get a sales gig and just go at it and make like 200 grand in that year. Like I would just something like I can't wake up and do the wrong thing because my shame. I just have the worst shame function. Like every time I do anything bad, I feel so bad about it.
I personally am secretly, not even secretly, I'm openly, I would love a delay of Pulse. I would fucking love a delay.
Kira with airdrop to sacrificers. Hex Squid, can you elaborate on that? Kira with airdrop to sacrificers. Sam, we're sacrificers.
What is Kira?
It's obvious. It's a new coin on PulseChain. I don't know what it is, but that's what it sounds like. So, yep. Anybody that knows a project. Oh, there's also a thing called Pulse Speak. Pulse
What is
Speak.
that?
PLS.
Wow, we should bring on. There's a guy, Michael, that's supposed to be coming on I think he's going to come on my
Michael.
channel. I don't know if you want to have him on here or
Who
something,
is he,
but
though?
I don't even know. He's doing a new project on Pulse, and I wanted to learn about it just to learn. So I haven't really looked into it, but I want to understand other pieces of what's going on top of Pulse. So this coming week, he might be coming on. I don't know. I got to get the details. He sent me an email, so I got to follow up on that. But to get back to that tax piece.
Hurricane also reached out to Bullish and mentioned that they have maybe something to add to their presentation, perhaps. That it might be dropping on this show first. Maybe first drop.
So think about this. If you have, going back to your Shiba Inu, selling it for Hex, right? If what Kinetics is saying, and you have it set up as kind of like an LLC to do the investment for you.
Okay, so
you got Shiba Inu.
Yep.
Starting with Shiba Inu, and you want to sell some of this to put it in tax.
Yeah.
So selling this causes a taxable event.
Yes.
Right. But the way that Kinetics was positioning it and the way that he's getting those justification levels, when you stake Hex and you burn it, that's a capital loss. So you have a capital gain here and a capital loss. They offset, which can you
do this without a specific tax advisor talking to someone, or?
Yes, you just have to understand it to be able to explain it to your tax.
How, like, at what point is it legitimized? Like, at what point is there like, this dude's like, it's
bro. One thing for anybody who's listening,
you know what I'm saying though, like,
is you. So this is, I'm not a tax advisor, right? You can fucking make up whatever the fuck you want and send it to the IRS. Period. People will do this all the time. The IRS is only going to check certain things because the quantity, and I'm not saying anybody should do that by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, obviously get you arrested and would be illegal.
But you can go through and you create the justification for what it is and explain it to the accountant using the documentation.
So why don't I explain it to you right now? You're my accountant, sir.
Cool. I can connect you with mine too if you care. Yep.
Okay, so I'm coming into your office right now. Okay, so I sit down. Sam, I have made a trade to this new investment with a large position that was non-taxable at the moment. So it was a liquid position that was non-taxable until moved, right? And I would show you the spreadsheet of those gains, right? So I would show you the capital gains on that. I would get that number. Yeah. Okay. This is how specific.
You want date. So do the spreadsheet. You want the date of the transaction, like what you're going to need to know, like what you purchased it for and what you sold it for, because the capital gain is going to be the delta, the difference between those two things.
Right.
They're going to want a reason. And then I would also try to like.
So let's stop there real quick. So what is, when you say they would need a reason, what's my reason?
Be like, I don't like the way Shibu is.
Well, I'll say, okay, then I'll give you.
You can literally do anything you want.
Let me give you my reason then. Okay. I like the fundamentals of this one project more than the one that I have at the moment for long-term success. That's my explanation.
Perfect. And bro, it's the only reason you want the documentation is because if you get audited, so we were talking about this the other day, if somebody is doing something and there's a area that is slightly gray, like crypto taxes, because it's so new, document everything you can possibly think of, talk to people who understand about taxes, learn about the tax piece of it. Like I literally before the show, every week I take about 30 minutes and I work on tax preparation shit for the year. It's 52 half-hour sessions, so that's 26 hours a year. It makes it 1,000 times easier. When it comes to January, we're good to go, kind of thing. It makes it way easier. But you get your Shiba Inu, you get that information we just listed, and then you're going to have to explain to them what Hex is and why it's a capital loss. That's going to be probably like one of the biggest ways to do that.
Yeah, but that's not hard to do. So why is that hard?
Remember when you said at the beginning of the show that it takes.
Oh, hold on. I want to show you this thing. Here's a funny meme that Stakes did. It's so funny. I'm sorry. I always like. He says when Crypto Fitness asked me to make them when Sam Bullish and Crypto Jim Rat asked me to make them NFTs. I love this little freaking this thing that's holding the stuff. It's so freaking cute.
He's awesome, that dude.
I
That's
love
great.
that dude. And yes, we are going to do fun
So
shit.
let's
This is probably going to be.
Talk about taxes, dude. This shit's
Yeah,
exciting
keep going
for
with
me.
the taxes, bro. I want to. So, okay, you're my tax advisor, bro. Okay, so I'm making that trade. I'll give you the numbers right there. I'll show you all the numbers and the dates on my spreadsheet. I'll give you the delta. Is that what it's called? The delta? Be the
Delta's
difference.
just going to be changed or something. Yep.
Right. So I'll give you that number difference, and then I'll say, so listen, I bought 100,000 hex coin or whatever the equivalent value of hex coin would be. Listen to me, sir. This hex coin is now 100% burnt off the chain. I don't know if it's off the chain. I have to think about that. I can't remember. But anyway, so the burn function, guys, is the burn function for the chat real quick. Is the burn function just sending it to a wallet that doesn't move? Or does the burn function make it go away forever?
Should make it go away. Forget when you stake.
I just want to
that
make
would
sure.
change.
So like when I'm
Yep,
explaining this through.
And I can show you like the crypto side of things because I have like virtually no crypto. Is something that I'm trying to work like out more of the details. I started like a crypto tracking spreadsheet and everything for the details of this because you're going to have to track this stuff. Also, if somebody has any resources for
this is what I'll tell you next
fees,
time.
Fees.
This is what I'll tell my
Hookers.
tax. That's what I'll tell my lady tax account. Reason: hooker and blow. Hooker and blow. I make. I saw a good comment in here. Hold on one second. I still had MySpace. Blah blah blah. He says. This guy says if I still had MySpace, Sam would be in my top 5.
Yes.
That is the funniest quote. Funniest of the day. I love that.
I used
Sam
to
is
be
the ultimate hex flex. Very true. And he will flex in your face at all times. Tyrannosaurus Hex. We need a good way to be aware of airdrops. I am your way. You just figured it out, Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's nowhere else you need to go. I'll be here every single day. There's not too many airdrops that are going to slide by me once I get a hold of the projects that are doing it ahead of time, right? Because it's hard to, you can't always anticipate things that don't exist to occur. So like you have to be a little, but like once PulseChain's out, if there's free money out there, I'm going to let 3 of my friends get robbed or success, and then I'm going to do it on the stream. And then I'm going to show everyone that it's safe.
There's also what we were just talking about. Motley goes on to mention. So this.
No, the coins no longer exist until you end your stake and mint the coins in the future. Very cool.
So what that means, right? If you look at how a CD is taxed in the banking world and legacy, so a CD is taxed as you accrue the interest on there. So if it is a capital loss, if you're going to use that story, right, to tell the accountant, because you could use some other fucking story, right?
Okay, so Sam, let's go back. I switched my currency to Hex coin. I've now taken those coins out of existence, sir. I've earned in place of them shares of the company, right? Of the protocol.
So to speak, yep.
Sir, I no longer own any of these coins. I only own these shares. These are unredeemable until 4,000 days from today. And we'll do the calculation on that on the spreadsheet. Okay. So I will show you, and then where is the justification where you can now officially say you cannot F me up for not paying tax on this?
Well, so the capital loss is going to be pretty. That's going to be your like the biggest thing that you need to get them to like understand, right? Because you just have to have your accountant file your taxes. If you want to file it yourself and you do all the justification, cool. I don't want to do that myself. I'd rather have an accountant do that for me. Yeah. So I pay somebody to do my taxes because I find it easier to do. I've been working with her for a while now. I like, her or whatever. So you just have to, that's going to be the biggest hurdle for the justification. You file your taxes. The IRS has like a look back period, which they can basically look back at your taxes to audit them for a certain number of years for different things. It's a different amount of time. It's like the statute of limitations or something like that. So how I think about it is if this were reversed, I would have to pay taxes, right? So I would like to have always something available so that if something does happen in the future and I lose a court case, it's not going to be an issue to just pay the taxes.
So basically, you're saying this protects you from if they do directly attack you, they'll just let you square it up.
Well, yeah, they would let you square it up anyway.
No, that's what I mean. They're not going to see, again, I've never dealt in this realm at all. I've had tax person I've never once, other than this year where I actually wrote down the numbers. I didn't fucking file anything. But I wrote down everything on not a spreadsheet, but on my notebook. And, so I know the exact numbers now because I read them off of a website. I mean, off of a program that just runs automatically. So it goes straight from Coinbase. It's the Coinbase thing. So it transacts all the transactions from Coinbase out, transact from Coinbase in. So, and I have all that written down. So it's like if I know exactly how much money I owe on that period.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So now if you go through and you use what we're talking about, if you took any of the hex and you staked it into the future, you can also write off all of the transaction fees, right? So all the fees, if you're running as a business, right, then all your fees that by the way, if anybody's running this as a business, if anybody has a job, this is not advice for anybody, right? We're just we're just playing conjecture here. If anybody
I've never actually left my house. I've never actually left my house. So this is all conjecture.
If anybody has a job and they want to make more money, start a business, even if the business doesn't make money and it's an investing business, because then you can write off your home office, your internet.
All right, Sam, now I want to do that for me right now. Let's do it again. I want to do what you just said. I'm in the position that I'm in now, and I'll give you the details if you ask me. Where do I want to start a business, Gym Rat Crypto business, okay? I'm starting Gym Rat Crypto business. How can I make that have anything to do with my investments?
Because you can just have everything just say that it's in your business.
So when does that occur?
So you're going to set up an LLC or something.
Yeah, I already have that.
Okay. So then you're going to take your articles of incorporation to your bank and your ID and show them that you're the authorized manager or authorized owner on the LLC. Open up your bank account, a business bank account, and then you're going to use that for all of the details. So anytime you can, utilize your business as the name you're putting into anything that you're doing. And you're going to run everything through there. So that address, right, it technically belongs to your business for tax purposes, right? Your hex address.
And then if you get loans, you can write off your losses too. Or you can write off your losses for everything, right?
Or your interest.
Or your sacrifices.
I had somebody steal.
What about sacrifices?
That's correct. That would be a capital loss. Yeah. I mean, you didn't talk to the council.
So Sam, tell me about the sacrifice. What do you think about what Richard Hart did there? And when people say sacrifice, let's stop being stupid about thinking sacrifices are. And this is from talking to many people. It's not a new thing by any means. The verbiage is different, so people don't get arrested. Okay, that's the only reason they're using different verbiage is because it's illegal not to. Okay, so stop acting like people don't raise funds for things. That's silly, right, Sam?
Yes. Yeah. Well, the sacrifice, I love the sacrifice from the standpoint of you can't get around rules unless you know the rules. And if you don't know taxes, how the fuck are you going to get around your taxes? How are you going to reduce your taxes if you don't know the rules, people?
Period. Biceps for RH. For knowing the tax laws. Legit though. Dude, good job. Good job fucking checking that shit and making sure you knew everything before. So you had the answer to the questions that the experts were going to ask you before you made the product. He knew that he was going to get hammered on the Howey test. He knew the securities laws were going to get blasted in his face all day long. And he ate it and he showed them what's real. This is what's real. This is what's the difference between a security and an asset. This is what's different. And there's videos of him. You have to watch this video. There's this video of him versus 3 lawyers. It's a video chat with him and 3 lawyers, and the lawyers were just shitting on him. And he literally told each one of them their exact job and sent them away.
But lawyers are like anybody, whether it's a doctor or a contractor, right? Lawyers have a little bit of a specialty in one area, but there's the vast majority of them don't try. The
I
vast
wrote
majority
my
of them are not
sacrifice
great.
off, Murky.
Yes.
So when I write a sacrifice off, Sam, see it, Sam, again, I'm going to show everyone my newbiness real quick.
Cool. Do it up. No, this is going to be helpful to people because people don't understand this. So ask.
I don't know how to write things off. And I don't necessarily know what that means. I do understand the concept of writing off your losses for tax implications, therefore you get a better deal. Like I understand like the ethos of the whole thing, but I'm talking about nuts and bolts. Like I don't understand how they all interact.
Just track everything. Track all your you have a way to know how much you got your addresses, right? And the amounts that you sacrificed. So put that into a spreadsheet and you're basically done because you're just going to give that shit to an account. And you're going to be like, that was a capital loss. I donated something. And that's it.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
So how much, what do I get off of that tax-wise?
So say if you were 30% taxes and like your effective tax rate was 30%, like state and federal, and you donated $100,000, you basically save $30,000 in taxes. That means you'd have $30,000 more income. This is why I'm telling people
people know why, Sam, they ask me why I've never taken money out of crypto. It's because GRC likes to learn first, baby. I like to learn this stuff.
If you go through, plus anybody here, if somebody's doing a job and they're making $100,000 a year, if they go through and start a business for crypto investing, that it's like a family office. Look up the family office shit, right? You're basically going to set up like an LLC type of a thing. And talk to somebody who's an expert in this. Like I'm not trying to tell anybody or give advice for anybody, but you can look this up. You can start
Murky knows exactly what it sounds like. You and Murky might have a nice long conversation one day, bro. Crypto taxes are all word of mouth. They have no way to track what you do unless you are trading on centralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges can't be tracked. Guys, I was listening to Richard Hart very closely when he was saying some of these things about tax implications because I was afraid. Sam, you know how I get neurotic about things I don't understand? I didn't understand taxes, so I was afraid that if your parents tell you get fucking arrested and shit. Like when you're young, you're like, I didn't know someone was going to come knocking on my fucking door if I made a mistake. Literally, that's how clueless I was when I got into crypto. I was like, am I going to press the wrong button and then someone's going to be like, Scott's doing illegal shit on his computer? Like I had no freaking clue. Like that's how new I was. So understand, like my mom always told me, like, your uncle, blah, 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 whatever, doesn't pay his taxes, right? And he's always been really bad off, right? Like just happens to be his whatever story they tell you, right? Uncle Jimmy, $20 super chat, Bitfinesse. My guy, Bitfinesse, freaking animal. I love this dude. Oh my God. I cannot wait to give you the most firm handshakes. And that amount of money you spent in cent or lost, that amount is taken off your adjusted gross income, which is baseline for calculating how much tax you actually have to pay. Guys, we are breaking this down step by step. Sam is an absolute professional when it comes to the financial system. So we're really bridging the gap here, Sam, aren't we? We're getting somewhere quick, right? Because you have that back end experience.
I'm going to give one more piece of really amazing, truly fucking awesome alpha.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice at all. None of what we talked about is financial advice. And then I'm going to give the shill because I gotta run. But we've been talking, right? And I fucked up and somebody stole $40,000 from me, right? So I was talking to my buddy last night. He's been retired for a number of years. And he was like, yo, just send him a 1099. Now, think about that, guys, for a second. So somebody stole $40,000 from me, right? So I can go through and send him a 1099, which then is going to be reported that GRC has $40,000 worth of income because he stole it from me. That it creates an income for his side and it creates an expense for me. So I'm going to be writing that off while at the same time it's going to be income for him on his side. So that's just can't do anything about it, right? Like you're just SOL, like fucking learn, move forward, but you can still have that basically show up as income for him by reporting it through that way. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I thought that was kind of interesting. I appreciated that. And you guys
show your stuff real quick.
You guys have seen Motley. Oh, Motley decides to show back up. Perfect time in the comments. You guys see this guy, right? Like he's got a boatload of followers on Twitter, right? He's over 14,000, and it's basically David versus Goliath. I'm going up against Motley, which is go kill something today. Yes, with this dope hat that I have. So I'm going up against the Goliath, right, on Twitter, and I need your help. The only way that I can win this 50,000 hex Motley's talking about right here is with your help. If you want to support, if you are the person who searches for
This
like
is
underdog,
this is getting ugly. The ratio is not. It's not swinging.
this I need to update. This is actually 2,900. So because you guys, this is great.
At this rate, what if I outpace both of you combined?
Well, he made the bet with me, so I need your guys' help. Go to Twitter. There's a link down below. Go over to Twitter, press retweet, follow, and then retweet, and then ideally you should probably
guys, really real quick, unfollow Motley, follow Sam ASAP, and just kidding. But guys, thank you so much. It's Sunday. Yes. I have spent time with family. Guys, Big Pep is streaming right now. Go into his stream. I dropped the link right below, right there. Go into his stream and cause absolute gorilla bicep chaos.
So he said Sam and GRC.
Hey, crypto in the morning. Sam and GRC. Biceps in the chat. Gorilla mode. Mother's Day, guys. This has been absolutely incredible. We just gave you the alpha of a lifetime. We worked through very, very slowly how to properly document your taxes and how to show them to an advisor properly with detail. Remember, when you go into the room with an advisor, you are the one with the information, not them. They spend too much time advising and no time studying. And that's what I'm pushing here, guys. You are the expert in your own life with everything you do. You're about 17 hours of research away from being a pretty baseline understanding of just about anything in this world from YouTube. Please study, focus, read white papers, read stuff that other people aren't reading, dig into these groups, ask the question more than once. When people are being flimsy with an answer, look them in the face and tell them they're a flimsy little bitch. Okay? So, guys, it's been wonderful. I hope everyone has a great day. Here's the outro.